you. Good morning, welcome to the channel. This is it the 22nd or I think this is going to go. It's quite nicely. I've got some tissue, some firelighters, a bit of kindling and some wood, and it's going to go like a house on fire. Watch this. Watch. This is a channel update and a fire lighting session. So have a look and see if we've got any messages. We might not have any. Channel update. Yesterday's videoing sessions. I'm a bit apprehensive. I might get some complaints about the churchyard visit. It's all funny thing videoing, isn't it, really? Because it kind of exposes you to a new sort of technology that's widely available, and it's a sort of, it's an area where people think that they have power over what you do, but they don't. You know, so like videoing somewhere in a communal or a public space. So it's like a new sort of thing brought here, but I suppose by Americans, isn't it? YouTube and Facebook and TikTok, Twitter. They brought this. The technology allows anyone to take videos, but in the past it would be, say, like a graveyard would be somewhere that's a place of respect, you know, and you wouldn't. But so I would just point you to the graveyards that are all falling apart. So the guy that I met yesterday in the graveyard. So I consider myself to be a fairly small C conservative type, I suppose. Well, not really. No, I'm more of a liberal, but no, I don't mean the actual parties. I mean the sort of way that I look at life and stuff. And but myself compared to that guy that I met, I felt like I was some kind of wild renegade. You know, like I'm like way out there, you know. And it's just really a reflection of just how straight he was, which is fine, you know. So a lot of the things that I do are a lot of people wouldn't do, you know, specific activities, but you know, it's just pushing things to the edge sometimes. Like laws and things or whatever it is, it's acceptable in society, you know. God, it's not going very well, is it? There's a bit down there that needs lighting, down the bottom.
I think that was always the concern as we watched His Majesty gradually came out and began to re-engage in his public duties, also knowing that those public duties or the number of engagements were less than what he would usually do, because he is somewhat of a workaholic, I think, like his mother. And
okay. So yeah, I'm probably compared to some, but I think that world is you know, the old world, the Kirk and everything. That sort of way of life, I think that's getting pushed to the side. I mean, surely. The young aren't giving a shite about all that, are they? I mean, it's only a small pocket of people. That guy who seemed about my age, you know, and I'll give him his due respect for that lifestyle. I mean, I sort of opted out of it and landed up having a different life, you know, which wasn't. I'm struggling to find the words for it, but I'm not really straight, if you know what I mean. But then a lot of that was, the rug was pulled out from under my feet, as it was most people, you know. They thought that you'd get married, have children, and and that would be that, and then you'd have grandchildren, and you'd live that life quite happily. There was options for everyone to opt out of that, including the women that I was married to, you know. I mean, they could get rid of you, whereas they couldn't do that in the past because they couldn't afford to. You know, I mean, it would make sense that the person that, you know, the father of the children would pay, but not in the way that they liked it, where they could get rid of you and you could still pay. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm getting into, don't you? I don't think that fire's going to go. Going to have to sort of work it out a bit better, what's going on wrong with it. I've run a bit short of kindling is a bit of an issue. Yeah, that's not helpful. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Oh, ah! Yeah, just wreck the place. I think it needs a boost. It needs another fire lighter. I'm going to have to take that decision. Another fire lighter is required. See that? That's doing it. That's doing it. So I believe that world. I would have loved to have lived in that world, and I failed at it. So I'm not saying that it wasn't available to me. It probably was. I think I was doomed right from the start. I think from my upbringing, and I was dumped by them. That's why I don't really have any compunction about saying the truth from the way I say it, but because I've been ostracised, I don't. There's none of them contact me, so it's not like I really have to conform to any family like protocols. If you get what I'm saying. So if you get sort of ostracised, and why would you conform to the protocols? So what are the protocols? Well, it's hard to say exactly. See how that firelight just made a massive difference there. The fire. I'm pretty sure it was about to go out. Yeah. So the protocols are certain things that are so that a lot of the Protestant background or upbringing, it's mostly and so I've mentioned this to people before, and it's almost like it's obvious, right? But it's not obvious. It's like it's because they're unwritten rules, life rules, and they're unwritten. Well, they are written somewhere, but they're not. But you're supposed to work it out, and you get taught it. But so maybe it's because I got diagnosed with Asperger's. I'm not sure, really, but which is a sort of modern kind of diagnosis. That was Hans Asperger, that was probably going back to 1940s, in Austrian. So like understanding things maybe is more of a challenge for people on that spectrum, if you like, without making it sound like it's an excuse, because there is often. So what I mean is that it's blindingly obvious that the way we are supposed to live was Protestant. Is it dogma or what is it? It's a lifestyle, but there's good sides to it, and there's good elements to it. The life over and above what we had before, which was Roman Catholicism. So there's this sort of divide, central Scotland and Ireland, Northern Ireland. So that guy was sort of like explaining some of that. I'm not hugely interested in it, to be quite honest. To me, it's like a lot of the things that he was saying didn't really sink into my head, because to me it was kind of like just stuff that he was saying that didn't really resonate or didn't really mean much to me. So that's the way I think, in my mind. It doesn't mean I'm not, it doesn't mean I'm stupid or something. It just means that I think differently from what he does, and he's got his own comforts and things that he's fighting for, and fighting for by what he's living for. But I would say he's fallen. The problem I would say with people like him, and I'm talking here, a lot of you might be wondering who the hell are you on about. You have to work out yourself, but the problem for people like him and me is that globalism is destroying our country, and they're using politicians to do it, and it's seeping gradually, so that I don't see any optimistic future in Great Britain, Scotland, Western civilization. I don't. There's very little optimism floating around, and that's because they're implementing green communism, which is not an optimistic thing. I mean, who's going to be optimistic about being stuck at home? Nibsy, right? So the sheer and utter stupidity of a lot of people, that's going now. That is definitely going. I mean, that's quite a successful firelighting session. I had to put an extra. I'm short of kindling. I had to get some more kindling created today. I'll go out the back and do some. Probably need to turn the heat down a bit. It looks like it's going to be, it'll heat up too much. So we'll get the air turned down slightly. So I can do that without leaning down. There we go, just a wee bit. Right, so I had a bit of an argument. We're arguing about this woman getting 2.5 years for suggesting people should go and do something to a mosque. And, we're talking about law. We're talking about the wrongful use of law. So causing harm. Do you cause somebody harm, then you should be punished. But that woman didn't cause anyone any harm. She just said something stupid on the internet. So that's politically motivated. And yet there was Asians in Manchester. I'll call them Asians. I think they were Muslims or something. Fighting with police. And what happened to them? Well, nothing. They got covered up. So there's definitely a two-tier system. And I'm trying to argue this out with these people that they're just not really. They're not really very coherent, Right, let's have a quick look at see if there's I need to get myself another coffee in a minute. So, I don't know if I want to go into it too much, because sometimes you are fighting into the void. That's my favourite music. I listen to that usually when I'll go to bed or late. Genesis. I've been listening to that for years. It means a lot. I don't know. It's something I do on my own. Like my friend comes round, he likes Genesis as well, but I know friends. I don't really, but friends. It's I have got this sort of loose friend that I have in Edinburgh, and he plays weird music, but I think it's a very personal thing for me. I don't really. I like to listen to weird music more. Weird as in it's personal, yeah. It's like having sex with yourself. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? Listening to music is personal, private, yeah. Not always, but in that scenario it is. So right. Maybe I'm just trying to explain. So there's not really much going on here. Climax change. Yes, it's a new term. So someone said here, fairly sure the zigzag lanes mean no overtaking. Well, I don't think so. We're talking about, in this scenario here, again, this is green communism. Doesn't want me to overtake, so I'll just sort of stick behind some fucking
So you can only go by the past, what could happen in the future, and in the past, they haven't been 100%
recycled, right? So there's a zigzag line there. To say that, looks like a normal cyclist. I would think like a double, you know, two white lines means you can't overtake. Turns off right. Right, okay. So you can only go by the past. So I've got what could happen in the future. That means you can't stop there, doesn't it? Park there. Right? Can't park there. It's just not true to say that. It could be that that thing's been built in the wrong place. Yeah, and we'll get right. So no, I think that's totally appropriate to overtake there. Guy Australia. Yeah, he critiques. Let's see if there's any held comments. No, nothing. Right. Oh, that was for that video. So I have to check if there are any held comments for generally everything. No, there's nothing. Right. So the sort of stuff, the nonsense they feed you, and right, okay, some of the stupid arguments, this guy here, he's finally fizzled out, the electric car guy. I mean, they say things that are just fundamentally untrue, you know, so what he's saying is, so he's just laughed at me. That's what they do, they laugh at you, because they don't have a decent answer for you. He says, you know, I live in Australia. I have enough solar power and home batteries to be energy self-sufficient and I've owned an EV for 10 years. I generate no direct... the accent's going weird. I generate no direct emissions and all components will be recycled at the end of life. I know what I am talking about, you don't. You're even paying for expensive diesel and polluting the world with every kilometre you drive. No battery ever built has 96% of its capacity left after 10 years. Clearly the manufacturer was lying to you when you bought the vehicle. It's a Tesla. He's not saying, but I know it's a Tesla. If you can still do that mileage, obviously you have had emissions from all the equipment you have bought to go off-grid, and currently solar panels cannot be recycled. Do you want to do that? Why should I care? I will continue to drive my car around for as long as I can. So he's virtue signalling, this guy, Ian Stevens. Virtue signalling to the highest degree. And why? Why virtue signal? You're a liar. Ian Stevens is a liar, right? You're not, you know, you're doing whatever you want to do, and I'm doing what I want to do. And you're making out that I'm the bad person and you're a good person. But it's not true. You know, all you're doing is facilitating genocide against children in bloody Africa, so you get them to go and dig up the stuff to build your electric vehicle. And then you lie about it. So there's Mark. I'm sort of amazed at Facebook having banned his page, because they don't like it when you... Oh yeah. Removing their track trace termination technology will save lives. And were you there? Yeah, I'm with you there. So this is it. Mayors want you to support child slavery. C40 city mayors. What's C40 city mayors? C40, is that a climate thing? Want you to support child slavery, part of the future, building back their slave master agenda. That's that. You know, so Mark's taking everything. There's no middle ground with him. He's taking everything. He's right. Why would you go middle ground? Take it to what it is. That's what they are trying to do. That's what their goal is. Their goal is for you to be poor and them to be richer. So they're looking for a slave master agenda is what's happening. Yeah, he's right. Amnesty International gives EV makers low marks for human rights policies. Yeah. And I recall more than 280,000 SUVs advised parking outside due to fire risk. I mean, how's that? You've spent all that money in a car and you can't park it in your garage. Because it's going to burn your house down and kill you. Oh, yeah, okay. What is all this stuff? Right, there's a lot of stuff, people post stuff. What is this? Well, there's a look up SM102S. The greatest threat to the quality you wake out in large numbers, second display doors holding the line while you wake. Well, I can't do anything like that up here because they'll know right away it's me. Maybe in London they get away with it. So what was that? Let's look at, what is this C40? What is that again? C40 City Mirrors. C40 Cities. Oh yeah, C40 Cities. Climate Leadership Group Incorporated. C40 Cities Climate Leadership Group is a group of 96 cities around the world that represent 1/12 of the world's population, 1/4 of the global economy. Right. C40 Cities. A global network of mayors taking urgent climate action. Yes. Well, you can just fucking... Oh god. To confront the climate crisis. Well, there's no climate crisis. What they've done is they've picked out scientists that say there is, and they paid them off, and the ones that say there isn't, they've ignored, or might even killed them. And look what happened to Tony Blair did that to the weapons expert, because the weapons expert didn't agree with Tony Blair's claims that it was weapons of mass destruction. His name was Kelly. I can't remember his first name. He's found dead in a field. That's the sort of people you're dealing with. Criminals, aren't they? No, that's lies. Health and our dependence on fossil fuels, no, that's not true. Yeah, we need fossil fuels to have the modern civilization what we have. That's appalling. So yeah, I would they're all criminals. Yeah. Right, that's it. Let's go see what the fire's doing. Right. Oh, it's doing nice. Right, so thanks for watching that fire lighting session, channel update. So what happens? You normally get branded a conspiracy theorist if you... Well, that was from CIA that started that slur to discredit people that normally what it means is they've realised that they're lying and they're up to no good. So in this case, it's up to no good means destroying our civilization and way of life. And you always kind of thought that after the Second World War that you were led to believe that because the Nazis were defeated in Germany that everything was going to be just hunky-dory, but the reality is evil prevails and you have to fight back, but there's a limit to what we can do as ordinary people, I suppose. But right, thanks for watching. Early prisoners. I'm going to have breakfast now, I think. Bye!